Hey guys, it's Raythe here. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the author of Everdark. Every week, I get together with the Everdark cast and we talk about things related to vampires, voice acting, and life. Sometimes I ask them questions, but sometimes they ask me questions. And by the way, we want to hear your answers to those same questions in the comments. So when I first came to you guys about performing Everdark, I gave you access to raythe.com so you could read the serial. Yes, people remember Everdark is a written work first, and look at the art to get an idea of the characters and the world. Did you read the whole 147 chapters of the story, or did you just read the first volume so you didn't spoil yourselves?
I haven't read it all the way through. So what I tend to do is read about 20 chapters ahead of wherever we're at. And when I first get any project, I scan through it mostly for character stuff like accents, specific vocal characteristics. So I'm looking for keywords rather than reading absolutely everything. And this is going to take some hours to read.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Over 500,000 words, more like 750,000. So it's going to be good times. Welcome, Game of Thrones of Vampires. Yes.
Well, I can pull like an actor card and say that besides just sheer laziness. No, I actually enjoy as an actor. I tend to do the same. I'll skim through once, but I don't go too far ahead for two reasons. I like kind of the freshness of cold reading. I find that typically my first read tends to be the one I go with in most circumstances, for better or worse, but it tends to be the most natural. I also like being surprised by what happens to a character. I find I tend to do a lot of thrillers and mysteries and adventure kind of stuff. And if I know maybe, for instance, who the villain is in a series, I tend anyways to maybe project a bit of that into the character. So I like to be able to kind of keep those things a secret for myself and make sure that it's not kind of bleeding through into the performance as well.
Yeah, considering, well, things change about who the villain is. It is a big secret. So there we go.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that we get a good 20 episodes in advance and we can kind of record them and be like, oh, this is where the story's going. And then similar to Adam, I'm kind of excited to see where it will go without preempting anything and without shading the way you want to talk to a character or you want a character to talk to someone. And also pulling the actor card of being like, I've got so many things to read, but I'm genuinely excited to see where it goes.
So did seeing the art for the characters give you a greater feel for them in terms of how you'd act them out, I guess, is the best way I can ask.
I definitely seeing Arceus, that artwork of him, just as soon as I saw him, I was like, yeah, I think I know exactly how much meat he's got behind the way he speaks and the way he behaves and that calmness with a bit of berserker under him sort of thing. So yeah, the artwork helped so much.
Oh, for me, it was a bit more intimidating because the art is so slick, so cool. My voice is never going to get anywhere near that. These are people beyond the realm of reality.
A picture is worth 1,000 words, and I think that's absolutely true of this material. And so I have to agree with the slickness, the finding for me the style of the world that these characters inhabit. And that's what I thought, that the lovely use of light and shadow and also really sumptuous color in some of them, these the blues, the purples, the reds. So I absolutely love seeing all the other elements that are brought together in productions like this, whether it's a film or a game or something like this. The artists who build your costumes, who design the sets, who look at the color that is used later. So the artwork, for me, was one of the starting points. I looked at all the pictures first. Yes, that's right. I read the magazine for the pictures. I'll say it. And then I felt I could dive into the world of the story with those images being my sort of hooks. And I'd keep coming back to who's speaking and how they might speak based on, even in the little quiz that you've prepared, the way that the characters use their bodies in the way they relate to each other.
Yeah, it's different from doing Cinders and Ashes, which is another series that we do with you, because we don't really have any art for that. So we're sort of working on the fly and creating as we go, whereas this, it's already sort of set up in front of us. So we have a much better, clearer idea moving forward, even when we start, about who the characters are and where they're going.
And to double down on that, I know that some of us here have done video games and motion capture. And seeing the art as the creature will live versus wearing lycra bodysuits with dots everywhere. It does. It absolutely helps with things like time, space, weight, flow, all these elements that we as actors looking for anything to trigger the imagination. That's for me is so important to remember that this is a collaborative art form, and that we are working on something bigger than just us.
There's this idea of the third artist, because I think Raythe Rain really didn't come alive until the art happened. And then adding you guys to it really makes it come alive. It's that next step. You know, you have visual, now you have oral. It's going to be, I mean, I think just for people, this is going to make the Everdark seem real. It definitely is obviously a dream come true to me to have such qualified and wonderful, amazing actors do this. So just for you guys, your listeners out there, there is a lot of art for Everdark on YouTube, but also on raytherain.com as well. So for those of you who want to check it out, there's a gallery and we'll have a link in the description down below so you can check it out after this. I hoped you liked this behind the scenes discussion with the cast and crew of the Everdark podcast. If you want to join the conversation, come to YouTube and tell us what you think in the comments. And just so you know, I'm not the only one reading the comments. The entire cast is too, and they're very eager and excited to hear from you. If you are already listening on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe to get notified when the next episode of Everdark comes out.